All right, so I recently watched Rebel Moon on Netflix. It's a new Zack Snyder film. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit here. Because I'm seeing a lot of reviews online and Rotten Tomatoes and just all over the internet, and people are really ripping this thing apart. Like, people don't like it at all. At least not critics. I mean, critically, it's like in the tank, right? It's like 13% or something. Whereas the audience has it a little higher at like 60%, which is, I think, a fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes, but just barely. I don't know what all the hate's about. Now, is it perfect? No, I don't think so. Is it derivative? Is it, basically Star Wars, but with different characters? Sure. It's about an evil empire and a small band of rebels. Very similar. Very, very, very similar. In fact, I heard somewhere that at one time, now this wasn't written to be a Star Wars film, but I heard that at one time it was pitched to Lucasfilm to be part of the Star Wars franchise, where they would, tweak a few things to make it, the Empire rather than whatever it is in Rebel Moon. You would change some things about, I don't know, characters or planets or what have you, or the galaxy that they're in. You might see some Star Wars stuff. And I totally see where they could have easily turned this script into a Star Wars script. Easily. But then I also feel like it would have just felt like a retreading of other Star Wars we've already seen. Now, so as I said, it is derivative. It is definitely heavily inspired by Star Wars and other sci-fi stuff from through the decades, right? But originally conceived back in the 80s, apparently, by Zack Snyder and some other friends of his. And yeah, everybody's hating on it. I can agree that it's derivative. And if I have any other complaints at all, it's that some of the acting and or dialogue delivery was not great. Like, it was a little cheesy at points. But guess what, guys? The Star Wars that you love, the Star Wars that we say, oh, it's too much like this thing that we already like. Star Wars is cheesy as hell, man. It really is. And we love it. So that's why I don't really get the complaints there. Some of the delivery, some of the lines were a little wooden. Some of the characters feel a little wooden. But a lot of great stuff happens in this. I love the story of this woman in hiding, and basically has to stand up and help this farming community fight back against the evil empire. Goes to recruit all of these different warriors that she knows of or has heard of from around the galaxy. And it's great. It's a great setup film. They're planning to do several of these, all connected. This is part one. And I don't know if I think it's called A Child of Fire. I don't think it's... I'm not sure whether the Child of Fire is the main character or the Child of Fire is the princess that she once guarded. I didn't really get... Maybe I missed that somewhere. But maybe you guys can tell me if you got it. But I enjoyed the story. I really did. I enjoyed the kind of very different warriors that they go and recruit to bring back to this planet. I like the big twist at the end where one of the characters was not who they were portraying themselves to be, and it's not the person you would expect. And overall, I liked the characters. Like I said, some of the delivery, some of the dialogue wasn't perfect. Felt a little cheesy, but whatever, man. Star Wars, go watch the original Star Wars. The first Star Wars film, A New Hope. Go watch that. Tell me it's not cheesy as hell. No matter how great it is, it's cheesy as hell. Anyway, I'm excited for the second part. Like, I want to see what happens. The second part of it comes out in April. I'm enjoying this new universe, even if it does resemble a universe I already know. It happens to be a universe that I really love, so why wouldn't I love one that's similar? It's, classic sci-fi fantasy tropes. And, guys, I love sci-fi fantasy tropes. That's one of my favorite things in the world, so I'm digging it. The space opera, I'm all for it. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Are the critics way off on this? Like I said, there are some legitimate complaints, but acting as if it's just unwatchable, I'm not on board with that at all. There was some great stuff. That battle against that half arachnid woman was awesome. Like, what a great character that was. Even if it was a short-lived character, I never seen nothing like that in Star Wars. Not like that. Not like a half man or woman, half spider, gigantic being. Oh man, she was creepy, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, so not perfect, but I do feel like depending on how the story goes with the movies going forward, the follow-ups, it could really change perspective on the first one as well. Because I feel like if you go through the Star Wars franchise, like, Empire Strikes Back makes all of it better. And that's just a fact. I mean, you can't even argue. You can't argue with me on that. You're not going to change anyone's mind. But yeah, I mean, the second half could be incredible and just make the first one more relevant. Much like a lot of people have grown appreciation for, the prequel trilogy in the Star Wars franchise. Like, people don't look on it as badly now that we have stuff like Star Wars: The Clone Wars alongside it, and other deeper dives into that time period in that galaxy. So I don't know. I feel like this could change some people's minds with the second film, and they might grow to appreciate the first one even more. But like I said, it was a fun ride. I enjoyed it very much. I don't think it was perfect. It didn't blow me away. It's better than Rise of Skywalker, I'll tell you that. Easily better than Rise of Skywalker. So anyway, let me know if you agree or disagree. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk about this. It's obviously pretty controversial. Like, if you like this movie, you're kind of in the minority. At least that's how it seems online. So let me know if that's the truth, though. Let me know if in real life people like this film. Yeah, and if you like this sort of thing where I talk sci-fi, action, adventure, comic books, movies, TV series, all that sort of nerdy stuff, then please subscribe to the channel or favorite or follow Daily BS Podcast. And if you do decide to stick around and favorite, follow, or subscribe, then I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks.